me, Ryan of Royal Hawk. Welcome to the show,
Hey,
Ryan.
hey, how's it going?
Yeah, very well. How are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Good. All right, so
Awesome.
I actually have a couple of questions for you. Number one question, I know you guys were formed in 2018. What was the feeling like to be in a band, and how did you guys meet?
So I've been in a couple bands before over the years. I met the guys through just some classified ads on Craigslist. I met Lewis and Mike. We got together a couple times. Then a few months later, we brought Nelson, the bass player, in, and we just started writing. And we started playing shows probably within the first 6 or 8 months of getting together. And we've just kept going since then. It's been a lot of fun. Um, really enjoying it.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
All right, who's your favorite metal vocalist that inspired you to be a vocalist?
For me, it wasn't really metal that inspired me to be a singer. I'm definitely more of a kid of the 2000s emo kind of music. So bands like Silverstein and Taking Back Sunday and the Used. Thursday is one of my favorite bands, although I probably wouldn't say that their vocals are the world's best. But if I had to say
Okay,
there was one, if I had to say there was one that really kind of pushed me to do what I like to do as a vocalist, it would be Shane Told from Silverstein or Buddy from Senses Fail, because both of them have really good singing voices. They have great lyrics. They have incredible screams, and the ability to go back and forth is something that I really try to do and put my own kind of take on that style.
that's really cool. I know Silverstone, by the way. Very
Yeah, I
good
love
band.
them. They're really great. Definitely one of my
Yeah,
favorites.
cool. I listened to your new release, Six Feet in Conversation, the day it dropped. Ah, damn, that song I had it on repeat for a lot of times. It was really, really crazy. I love the song. What is the
Thank
reason
you.
behind this song, and what has been the response ever since it was unveiled to the public?
Well, you were actually the first person to hear it because since you live overseas, you guys got it
Yeah,
first.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you
I
actually
know.
messaged us the day before it dropped in the U.S. So that was really cool that you were checking it out before anyone else heard it. I guess kind of the direction we're going in now started with the song we released in January. These words have weight, and thematically the songs are very similar. I like to
Mm,
incorporate a lot of relatable lyrics in our music. I like our songs to I'm really enjoying having songs that kind of work on personal accountability and being a better person. Just like the chorus says, is tongue tied for the first time, and there's things I'll never say. It really kind of, to me, captures the idea of getting very angry at someone and knowing that you could say something that is like straight poisonous, and knowing
mm,
that you shouldn't say them because, as the chorus finishes off with, these words are laced with razor blades, because the things that we say and that you can say to other people can be really detrimental to a relationship or a friendship or even your own kind of personal, mental, and emotional health. So I like the idea that we might do things that are metaphorical and we might use imagery, but a lot of what I like to write lyrically has to do with kind of your own personal self and your own personal and mental and emotional kind of health and growth.
mm. That's cool. That's really cool. All right. Who would you say are your biggest bands that influenced you to choose this genre of music?
I can only truly speak for myself in terms of that. I do know that the other guys are very much into the 2000s metal scene, metalcore scene, bands like Counterparts, August Burns Red, things like that.
Oh,
For
those are
me,
my
for
those are one of my
yeah,
favorite bands.
they're
I love
they're
August
really
Burns Red a
good.
lot.
They're definitely really good, and I hope that some of that influence shows musically. For me personally, like I said, I'm a kid of the early 2000s. You know, music that was on Warp Tour and in Hot Topic. So bands like Taking Back Sunday or The Used or Thrice is another great band that really got me into
Okay.
playing that heavier, more punk inspired kind of post hardcore music. As I got into college, I got into bands like Memphis Mayfire, which has more of that southern flair, especially back
Good
then.
band.
Um, Newfound Glory out of South Florida, which is where we're from. So just a lot of music that people would refer to as like hot topic music from the early 2000s definitely are things that inspired me. And I know that a lot of the other guys in the group are inspired by more of the heavier metalcore sort of sound, metal sound, some classic rock influences, like a lot of people.
Wow, that's really cool. Really cool. All right. You'll be performing live in Jacksonville next month. What's the feeling like? I'd really love to know how it feels to, play live in front of your fans.
Um, Honestly, it's awesome. It's a really great feeling. Even if they don't know who we are or haven't seen us play before or haven't even heard a single song of ours, knowing that when we start playing, people are getting into it. We actually have a few shows set up over the next couple months. I know that we're actually going to be in Jacksonville in September and in October. And then we're going to be playing in South Florida in also October. And then we have a couple other dates lining up right now for the rest of the year. I'm really excited that we're able to get back to playing shows. And I'm really excited that people are coming out to shows and having a good time. I guess really my biggest goal is to have people come out and have fun. There's definitely shows, we've played shows where even just the 20 minutes that we played or 30 minutes that we played, people were into it. And they might not check us out again afterwards, but at least we gave them something that night. Something that night to entertain them and to kind of get them involved and have fun with.
That's really, really cool. Don't be surprised I asked this question because I'm just wondering what it feels like to being alive, because I haven't really seen bands that I love live because of the fact that I live in a country where metal is not really appreciated. So these bands our community is still thriving. So I just wonder how it feels like. I've always longed to witness this feeling, experience it. So that's good. It's really good.
It's, I guess, yeah. I mean, playing a show. I mean, it's something that I guess we take for granted a little bit over stateside because they happen so frequently, and obviously in other places they don't happen. But really, it's such an awesome feeling knowing that I worked with other people to create something, and there's other people out there that want to come be a part of it for a few hours and just hang out and enjoy an experience. There's really not much else that's like going to a concert, in my opinion. It's so many people coming together with one common interest, whether it's, one band or a group of bands, and just sharing that experience, whether it's for an hour or 6 hours or it's an all-day festival. It's really cool. It's really awesome.
Oh, that's cool. What's the songwriting process like? How would you describe it?
I guess it depends on how we're writing certain songs. I do a lot of independent songwriting just to keep myself busy. I try to be as creative as I can. And I write a lot of things that never would end up being a Royal Heart song. They're not the same style, or they just don't fit what we really want it to do. I mean, I've written songs that would be definitely like almost pop songs that just happen to have guitar in it. Definitely not a direction that we would go in at this time, but a lot of our songwriting happens through collaborative back and forth. So I might send an idea to everybody, they might send an idea to me, we'll bounce it around, we'll get together, we'll work on it, and then we'll kind of take back the pieces and fashion them and move them around and figure out how to create something that's cohesive, that shows off who we are and what we can do.
That's really, really cool. I noticed something new and different, with your style and sound compared to a lot of metalcore bands out there. We just, sound generic. What really inspired you guys to stand out in your sound and style?
We write music that we want to listen to. If I listen back to, or if any of us listens back to one of our songs and we can't imagine just playing it in the car when we're driving around, then we work on making it something that we would want to actively enjoy. I feel like if we think we can enjoy our music, that other people can find enjoyment in it too. But we also understand our limitations and what we are good at doing, and we work on maybe bridging gaps to put forward the best piece of material that we can, instead of imitating what other people are doing, because they're already doing those things. You don't need someone else to do the same thing 10 or 15 times. All right. Give me 1 second, BJ.
All right.
Sorry about that. It started to storm, and my puppy needed to come on in.
That's all right. I understand that.
Yeah.
It's a nice dog you have, though.
Thank you. His name is Brian. He's a big boy.
Yeah, I see. Hi, Brian.
Oh, Brian, say hi to BJ. He's very excited. It started thunderstorming over here.
Yeah, I get it. I know it's not easy having to play live. I've seen some snippets of your live shows, and to be honest, I always feel like I'm a part of it. I'm just wondering, is there a process or a ritual that you follow in order to get rid of nerves or performance anxiety?
For me at this point, I don't know if I still get them. For me at this point, I don't know if I get the same anxieties that I got when I was younger. I have been playing for, I guess, 16 years in different bands and different degrees of being comfortable at it. I definitely remember when I was younger, I got very nervous. And when we have when we have kind of like big things going on, I definitely still do get nerves. But for the most part, I think I just try to keep kind of as calm as possible and as relaxed as possible before a show. So whether that means I need 20 minutes to just myself to do some warm-ups or take some breathing, and then sometimes I'm in a mood where I'm good to go, and I'm hanging out with someone, and all of a sudden they say, all right, you're up, and I just kind of go up there and we do our thing. I don't think I have a specific ritual for me to get ready for playing a set at this point. I know after a set, I definitely need like 10 minutes to myself to like catch my breath and calm down. So maybe it's more of a post-show ritual for me.
Yeah, I understand. I guess experience played a huge part, with you, because for you to have been playing for a longer period of time, I believe it's something that you must have been used to. So that performance anxiety won't really be there.
Yeah, I mean, it still happens sometimes. Like we've played shows where there were a lot of people there, and I still feel it sometimes. But I remember, like what I said earlier, these the people that come to shows, they're not there to tear you down or to criticize you. They're there to enjoy. They're there to enjoy something. Yeah.
True.
So.
True. I want to also ask this question. Where do you see your band in the next 5 years?
Obviously, not obviously, but I guess like many people that are in bands, especially in bands that are actively trying to put out new music and play shows, I definitely want to see us take some big leaps forward in terms of playing, not just in state, but more out of state, become more of like a national band. But I also have, realistic expectations that there are thousands upon thousands of people in bands and bands that exist that might not ever reach a huge level of success. So I would say in 5 years, I would be extremely happy if we had a strong community of people that were following what we did and were actively engaged in like our kind of operation of being a group. It would be awesome to open up our email and have emails from people from all over the world saying, hey, I just found you guys. You guys are such and such. Or honestly, people like yourself. You live on the opposite side of the world, and here we are having a conversation about something that I started doing when I was, 12 years old, and it's awesome.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it is. It is awesome. Really.
Yeah.
You guys are heavily underrated. It really would make me happy to see you guys, become one of the, sounds that everybody's talking about, keep the spotlight. It really would get me Very happy.
Very kind of you to say, BJ. I really appreciate that. Honestly, I saw you starting to post in some of the groups that I'm in, I guess a month or two ago, and you just started doing your reaction videos and your YouTube channel. And I had been wanting to do. I'm sorry, I'm fixing my stand because Brian knocked it over.
That's okay.
It made me really happy to see somebody just taking an interest for no reason other than it's something that you enjoy, because that's why so many of us start doing music to begin with. It isn't because we want to start a business or make money or tour. It's just because we enjoy doing it.
Enjoy doing it. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And you doing the same thing. I was like, oh, that's awesome that someone else is doing something similar just because they enjoy doing it. So that's, I mean,
yeah, right.
It's awesome.
All right. The last question I want to ask you: what message do you have for aspiring vocalists like myself and others out there?
I guess if I had anything to convey, like I have any right to do so, I'm not any more accomplished than any other singer in any other band. Don't worry about being perfect. There are definitely times when I listen back to songs that we've put out, and even though other people have said, oh, I love your XYZ that you do in this song, I love the way, or I like the way you screamed this line, or you sang this verse, and then I listen back to it and I'm very hard on myself because I always want to be better and be better and be better. Remember to be happy with what you're doing. If you're always criticizing yourself and in a non-constructive way, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage because you're becoming an obstacle in your own pathway to like being successful. And success doesn't mean that you have 1 million followers on Spotify. Success means that you can look back at something that you did and say, man, that was cool. That was fun. I really enjoyed doing it. But yeah, I mean, if we're talking technical, like what advice would you give to somebody so that they can get better at singing or screaming? I would honestly say like breath control and patience. Like breath control and patience. You're not going to get it in a day. I mean, I started trying screaming vocals when I was 15, and I wouldn't say that I got good at it until I was in my mid-20s. And that was because for a long time I didn't take getting better at it seriously until I did. So I don't know if that was an answer you're looking for, but that's what I would say to aspiring vocalists. Be patient, and as soon as you start taking it seriously and seriously investing like the time and effort into things like breath control and just kind of like lung strength, I would say probably don't like smoke cigarettes. That would probably not help. And drink lots of water. You would not believe how much help drinking as much water as you can does for making sure that your voice holds up through not just like one show or one day of recording, but multiple of them, especially when they're close together.
Well, that's not a problem for me because I drink a lot of water.
Okay, well, there you go. Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a point in my early 20s where I was drinking coffee, beer, and soda, and I never once drank a glass of water. And then when that changed and I stopped smoking in my early 20s and I started drinking more water and eating a little bit better, definitely there was a big improvement in the way I approached singing and the things I was able to start kind of figuring out how to do effectively.
That's really
cool.
Yeah. It really means a lot to me.
Thank you. Yeah, you know what? I'm honestly, I'm very humbled that, I mean, for you right now, it's what, 11:30 at night, 11 o'clock at night. It's pretty late over there, isn't it?
Actually, it's 8:23 p.m. Yeah.
Okay, so 8:20 p.m. Okay, so I thought it was a little bit later. I mean, you took time out of your night to call me over here. I just got home from work not too long ago, but I made sure I got home as quick as I can because I knew we had this set up, and I was really excited to chat with you because you've been so awesome supporting us online and supporting like a lot of other bands. You are definitely someone that enjoys finding music, and it's awesome to see it.
You're right about that. You're right about that. I actually noticed there's no really um, any metal reactors that I know here in Africa. Because
Hmm.
I know a lot of metal reactors, but they are always abroad. I don't really know anyone here in Africa, so I thought, why not just do something outside the box and just kind of
Well, it's awesome. It's awesome. We love
yeah,
it.
be a
We
representative
definitely
of
love it. And I see you posting in the groups and sharing your videos, and people are responding to you, and it's awesome.
It
I mean,
means a lot to me.
it's exactly what a band has to do to get started. You just have to decide to do it, and you decided to do it, and it's really cool of you to do it. And I'm really happy that you reached out to me so we could get together and chat. And I definitely don't think this will be the last time that we talk either.
Sure.
Hey,
Thank
unless I blew this whole thing, and then you're like, man, I'm never talking to that guy from Royal Hearts again.
no, I really, to be honest, I was
uh,
a bit nervous, but because this is my first interview with any member of a band, and I feel very happy doing this. I never even thought this was ever possible because I get to listen to a lot of bands, but ever since I started this channel, I just feel more connected to a lot of bands than I was before I started this channel.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I started something similar over the summer with I started a playlist over the summer so I could start putting on bands that I like that are newer. And I started doing a podcast over the summer as well. I stopped the last couple weeks because I'm a teacher and school just started back up here. So my schedule gets a little bit more hectic in the fall. But that's something that once I started doing it, I started to realize, hey, maybe I haven't really tried listening to as much new music as I really could have,
Mm.
because there's a lot of great stuff out there. If I can shout out a couple bands in Minnesota, there's a band called Common Choir that I think you would actually really love. Saving Vice is another really great band. There's
Oh, I know Saving Vice. I love those
yeah,
guys.
they're getting posted in all of the groups that we're in. There's another band out of New Jersey called Misery. They're kind of like they sound like an updated version of like that kind of My Chemical Romance, Escape the Fate sort of emo music. It's really good. Like they're super solid. They're super catchy. And then there's a couple bands in my own state that are definitely bands that I hope blow up soon. One of my best friends, she's in a band called Least, and they're like a alternative pop punky emo grunge. I don't know how to describe their music using genres, but it's really well put together. It's really catchy. It's a lot of fun to listen to, and there's a lot of really good there's a lot of really good music and lyrical content in there. But there's just so many awesome bands out there that I wish everybody could check out every single day of the year. Um,
Mm.
some of our new best friends are in bands. There's a group of guys in Orlando, which is about 3 hours away from me, called Catcher in the Rye. It's named after a book. I assume it's named after a book. Um, but they're like a really great, heavy, in your face. Like we played a show with them, and when they were on stage, I thought they were gonna kill people. Like they were like demonic on stage. Like they come out. No, they've got face paint, and they've got like the big signs behind them, and they're like super into everything that they like. I never thought for a second during their set that they were just putting on a show. Like they were 100% like into what they were doing. It was so sick to see.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah,
cool. That's
but
that,
like you
that's
said, I
really a
mean,
passion.
yeah, finding new bands is something that I'm super glad that I started doing, and I'm sure you feel the same way. Just finding
Sure,
new things to check out.
sure, I do.
Yeah,
Thank you very much, Ryan. I really appreciate you.
BJ, the pleasure was all mine. Again, so glad that you reached out, and hopefully we'll talk again soon. But to anybody that's checking this out, make sure that you are following BJ on every bit of social media. Subscribe to his YouTube, share it with your friends. If you're in a band, hit him up, talk to him, do all of those things. And if you want to check out us, we are at Royal Hearts FL on all social media. We have a new single, 6 Feet in Conversation, that dropped at the beginning of August. and we have more stuff coming soon. So if you're stateside, if you're in Florida, come to a show. If not, hit us up online. Let's start chatting music. But thank you so much, BJ.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Really appreciate it.
All right.
Have a
Take
nice
care.
one.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you too, man. Yeah, bye.